In more news, as fighting continues unabated in Yemen, rescue operations are on to save the Indian nationals stranded in the strife-torn region. On Monday, INS Mumbai rescued 476 Indians from Al Hudeha. The rescue operations were shifted. The rescued Indians were shifted to Djibouti with the joint effort of the Indian Navy, Air Force, and the national carrier Air India. The number of rescued Indians currently stands at 2,400. The Ministry of External Affairs is coordinating the rescue of those still stranded in the war-ravaged region of Al Mukalla and Sana. The evacuation effort in the cities of Aden has now been completed, we're being told. On Monday, Prime Minister Modi tweeted, and I quote, "Our evacuation efforts in Yemen reflect our willingness to serve our people and readiness to help others in distress, which is India's ethos. I'm also glad that India has rescued several non-Indian citizens from Yemen." And let's get a word from Jacob, who is in Kochi, who is working in Yemen with a shipping company. He was rescued and he reached home on the 30th of March. Jacob, thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today. It's been a sweet homecoming for you, even as several others are still stranded in the war-torn region. Can you describe to us the conditions in which you managed to escape?
This is actually, I should say, God's blessing, so that I could catch the first flight. We were sure that there were 5 flights from the local airline, which is Yemenia, and we were quite sure that these flights will fly for sure, finding a safe airspace. And we happened to hear from the sources that the nearest airspace and safe airspace is Djibouti. And hearing that, we started moving to the airport. On the first day when we went to the airport, we heard that the flights are not moving because they didn't get the permission from the Saudi air traffic team. And we were so disappointed hearing that we will not get permission. But the Yemenia people informed us that we have to move the flights to the nearest airspace, which is Djibouti, because since they were targeting on the airstrikes, and which is quite hazardous to the flights, they said you come on the next day. And hearing that, we didn't collect the money for ticket. And on the next day, we went to the airport at the same like what we did the day before. And we were waiting. We waited for the flight for a long time, and we found few UN staff getting inside the airport, and we suddenly went behind them. And the guy who was there, who is making the UN staff enter,
Right.
He said, no, you're not supposed to move. The Indian people are not supposed to move. Only the UNDP, WFE, and all the UN staff is supposed to. You cannot just go inside. And we were so disappointed, and we sat on the waiting space, and we immediately called the Indian Embassy people, and the guy who was there, one Mr. Rajagopal, he came to the scene. Don't worry, we have got an option. You please relax. We'll find some solution, he said.
All right, and Jacob, you must also have lots of friends who you may have left behind. Are you in touch with them? What are the kind of conditions that they're having to deal with?
You mean the Indian Embassy?
Yes.
Yeah, Indian Embassy. Yeah, I told you, hearing that we were kept aside. That guy, the Rajagopal, the first secretary of the ambassador, he suddenly came to the scene. He came to the scene. He asked us to wait there, and we waited there for a moment. And he said, "Come on, you guys get up. It's time for our turn." And suddenly we got in. And it was not like the previous day. We got in, we backed in our luggages, everything, and it went fine soon after that.
All right, and Jacob, we've heard that several Indians there have refused to leave the country because they've not been paid for the last 3 months. Do you know anyone who's still there, who's not, who's unwilling to come back because he hasn't been paid?
Actually, I heard few of the nurses. I don't think none others other than the nurses is having the problem of getting the salary, which is a matter of 3 months. A few hospitals like Al Tora and military hospitals. These are the hospitals which normally pays in 3 months. And there is another thing which is struggling. These people are the salary. First thing is the salary, and the second thing is the passport. The passport is kept whole in these hospitals. And recently we have few people which is over here whose passports were held at the hospitals, and still we are hearing that there are some issues, but we don't know anybody's name in particular to provide you guys.
Right, and Jacob, did any Yemeni authorities, individuals, or did anyone there also help you reach Djibouti so that you could get out of Yemen? And what's the kind of amenities that local government officials are providing to expats who want to get out of the country?
Actually, as per my information, and as of now, we don't have any information that the Yemeni people are supporting these people to travel over there. We don't have any information like that. No help, but we don't have any objection. I mean, we don't have any help. It's like middle.
All right, and do you have any friends who are still there?
Yeah, few friends are still over there, who are struggling for exit entry on their passports.
And
few are still there.
And how helpful has the Indian embassy there been?
Indian embassy, the same thing, what they did to us, the same thing they are still doing with them. They are open their helpline numbers, and they can keep in touch over the helpline numbers, and they will intimate the people. Recently, few of my friends few of my friends are arrived in a couple of days, and from them I heard that once we have to go to the airport and get the boarding pass. After collecting the boarding pass, the Indian embassy will intimate them. They will call them once their flights are ready, so that they don't have to travel in and over during the risky situation. Once their flights are on, they will give them a call, the Indian embassy.
All right, Jacob, thanks so much for speaking to Headlines today and sharing your experiences with us. Thankfully, you're back home safe. Let's also get in a word from our editor South TS Sudhir, who's with us on the phone line. Sudhir, it's been a sweet homecoming for Jacob, but there are several other Indians who are still stranded in the war-torn country, and their families back home are extremely worried.
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be a major concern. While a few hundreds of them have actually been brought back to India, there are many in Kerala, Maharashtra and many other states of India whose relatives are still stuck in that war zone. And the bigger problem is that, one, in many cases, the passports of those in Yemen have been taken away by their employers. In some cases, the salaries have not been paid. And number three, of course, the fact that they're all in the war zone. So for the Indian relief officials to actually get them out safely is proving to be a Herculean task. Apart from that, there are also efforts being made by respective state governments, especially in Kerala, to try and reach out to those people there in Yemen in the war zone to try and take them out, despite their reluctance to leave because of salary issues or because of passport issues. So those are some of the problems, and that is all being taken care of and coordinated by the non-resident Kerala organization, which is based as part of the Kerala government, to try and reach out to maximum number of people as far as the war zone in Yemen is concerned. Simi?
Sudhir, thanks so much for that. We're going to keep coming back to you for more on this story.